guys, welcome back to this place, and if you are new, welcome here for the very first time. I am Carmen. This little cutie is Dino, and today we are watching season 3, episode 8, excuse me, of For All Mankind. No attackies. Last time on For All Mankind, we had a lot. So we had Sergei sort of having to leave despite Margot's best efforts. We had Aleda, in my opinion, fully figuring out and confirming her theory that it is Margot that is the leak at JSC. We also still don't really know what's going on fully with Larry and if he's going to be like outed. He was, I don't know what you would call it, like sort of outed to some people, but it just, I don't know if they're going to be able to spin the story enough to where he's safe and Ellen is safe. We'll have to see. We had Jimmy stealing statues, his friends stealing statues for him, which I still question the logistics of. Anyway, and then last but definitely not least, we had Danny just totally dropping the ball. Excuse me, I don't know what's going on with my voice. He totally dropped the ball and got Ed very injured and possibly got someone killed. I don't know that for sure yet because we have to see how this episode starts out to know. So, yeah. My excitement at seeing him on screen continues. Yeah. Anyway, without any further rambling by me, let's just get into this episode and find out what happens.
Whatever interpersonal crap you two have going on stops now. Understand?
Tell him, yeah.
Understood.
Tell just him that. Because I am done dealing with him being homophobic, okay? Oh, it was her man. Alexei?
Mayday. This is Alexei Polotov. Anyone on this channel, please respond over.
Okay. I'm glad that he's okay. Oh, God. Oh, shit. Okay, no, he's not okay. He's not okay, because that's not normal, right? Uh-oh, the others might not have
Colin, do you read?
survived. Oh, there's a person. There's a foot.
Colin, please.
There's a foot. Can you get to them? Oh God, who is it? Oh, is it the curly-haired guy? Oh shit, his thing broke. Oh, he's definitely dead. Oh, it is. Damn it. See, I liked him. Fucking Danny. Oh yeah, she went to Pam's. You guys, I fucking forgot about that. Does she have the letter still?
That was a hard letter to write. You lied to me. Why?
She thought you would resent her if you didn't.
I know what it is to want something. I just made it easier for you to go after the thing you really wanted.
I think she really wanted you.
How generous of you.
Oh, you didn't even put up a fight.
You left me without saying a word to my face.
I used to think a lot about what our life would be. Cute house, a little fence, a dog, maybe a cat. Although
Yes, cat.
I'd make you coffee in the mornings and then right out on the patio while you went to work.
Sounds nice.
Yeah, it would have been. But it wouldn't last.
Okay, you gotta
Eventually,
be okay.
you'd regret what you gave up.
See, she thought she would.
It would start
Resent her.
trickling in after some argument we'd had. You'd think about it while you were in the shower, maybe stuck in traffic on your way to work, and it would just eat at you. And how could it not? I mean, you were headed for such great things. And I knew it. From the day I met you. So yeah, I gave you up. Because I thought maybe one day you could make a real difference for people like us.
Yeah.
But I guess I was wrong.
She has so many obstacles against her, is the thing.
I was so happy. You know, finally, things were going to change. But from that day on, I have just watched you make compromise after compromise.
Sometimes you have to settle for what's possible.
I wonder what the girl I met 20 years ago at the outpost would say about that. She had this fire,
She thought things could be
ready
better.
to take on anything and everything.
I'm not as powerful as you imagine. Look at me now. I had to sneak out of the house to visit the love of my life.
They always break my fucking heart.
It's good to hear you say that, anyway.
You were always the love of her life. I don't know how she could have questioned it.
Madam President, you need to come with me. There's a developing situation.
Could we be the only survivors?
Well, I think Danny and Ed are in that little thing, so hopefully they survived.
If there are other survivors trapped in that debris field, they're running out of air.
Well, if Margot Madison wants to send over her team, I'm sure.
No. They have more working resources on the ground up there, so we go to them.
Agreed.
Okay. Let's go.
I'm gonna stay behind, reach out to the families of those that are unaccounted for.
Henry Zinman can make those calls.
Not calls. We need to go to them personally and deliver the news and stay with them.
She knows.
Understood?
She knows what it's like to be. I mean, she's currently, but she also knows. Sorry. Did he just zone out while all that was happening?
I'm gonna do everything in my power
Good.
to find Ed.
Good. He actually looks upset, so that's good. I think he's just wondering, like, how this could all go so wrong. Honestly, the answer is Danny fucking Stevens, but... God, that would hurt. I can't.
What's happening?
Hold still and clean your wound.
Hope your hands are clean. I mean, I guess they, emergency sort of situation, but...
And knocked the hab over?
Worse. Buried us.
Oh, shit.
And who knows how far down we are.
Jesus.
Oh, shit.
So we're trapped in the airlock.
Yeah. Good news. Gun pressure's holding steady, so there appear to be no leaks.
That...
Emergency beacon's broadcasting.
Yeah, but you have limited supply of air.
That's good.
And if they could find you, hopefully.
Seal me up. When they find us, Mayakovsky will have to operate.
If he's still alive.
Hey, your bedside manner leaves a hell of a lot to be desired.
I'll work on that.
His everything leaves a hell of a lot to be desired, in my opinion.
All we have is the atmosphere in this compartment.
How long is that gonna last?
And the oxygen in our suits. And once that's gone,
Yeah.
we suffocate.
Mm-hmm.
You don't watch out, you're gonna crash.
It's fine.
Won't stay that way if you keep moving around.
Okay. I'll sit after you have some water.
I'm fine.
Just drink some fucking water, you little annoying bitch.
You don't look fine.
Sorry.
You're sweating.
Yeah, because he's going through withdrawal.
Told you to get off those pills. You're starting to go through withdrawal.
Spare me the Sunday sermon. You've been shooting anabolics in your ass for the last, what, 5 years?
That's not at all.
Yeah.
What's it matter now?
Antibiotics are completely
It matters because when we get out of here,
Get out of here. Don't you get it? We're not getting out.
search party's probably already locked onto our beacon
Oh,
by now.
really?
Yeah.
Because we could be buried under 50 meters of regolith or more. Rest of our crew's probably dead anyway.
Even if they are, NASA will still come for us.
We have maybe 6 hours of breathable air. Even if they started digging right now, they'll probably never reach us in time.
Okay, stop. Just stop.
Right. I feel like this won't be how Ed dies, because if he was gonna die, he would just die. Right? Like, I don't think that they would slowly make him suffocate to death. Personally. Oh, he's like, kiss. I would wait till he brushes his teeth, though, just personally. Danny's like, ooh.
I'm going with you.
She wants to because it's her dad.
Can't let your emotions get the best of you out there. You gonna be okay?
I can handle it.
Okay then.
She reminds me of Ed.
The former rivals, united by the hope that astronauts
his
Edward
brother
Baldwin
is-
and Daniel Stevens may still be alive. The world holds its breath. Stay tuned for more of our around-the-clock coverage after this break.
I can't imagine being them.
I remember when my man was doubting himself. Then his doctor prescribed Celebris Plus.
Great time for that commercial.
You want to tell us what's really going on?
Well, there was a landslide. And it was probably brought by the drilling on the ridge.
I see. So you came all the way out here to repeat some bullcrap you're spouting on television.
It's the truth, you fucking dumbass. Sorry. What does he think happened? Like, what's your conspiracy theory, bro?
What is that?
Aspirin. The landslide.
He has a concussion?
It was very... I cannot lose this headache.
Probably has a concussion. Uh-oh, he needs to be careful if he has a concussion. I hope the doctor looked at him.
This idea that he might die someday. It was just part of my life.
She never really expected
I used to lie in bed at night worrying about it. But now that the moment may finally be here,
We cannot think that way.
I can't help it. Thought that he may be lying in a dirt hole somewhere that we may never even find his body.
Oh, I heard something. Yeah, I heard something.
Wait, stop.
Yeah.
Possible beacon signal, very weak.
Oh, Helios. Yeah.
It is them. We found them.
Yay. Jesus. Now you just gotta dig. Who knows how far?
This is Rover 1. We've located the hab. Sending your coordinates. Get here as fast as you can.
Yeah. Now time is of the essence.
Digging down 20 meters with hand tools.
How long is that?
It'll take more time than Baldwin and Stevens have left. We need to come up with something better.
Yeah.
People, talk to your back rooms. Do whatever you need to. Let's get on it.
You need to figure out a big mechanical scooper. I don't know. This is why they work at NASA and I just sit here.
Do the Russians ever say anything about Margot?
Just that she's a ball buster. Why?
No reason.
You got no reason. You got a reason, Alita.
Your dad worked for Kirkland?
Building components for the Saturn V.
Oh, interesting.
It's the highlight of his life.
Saturn V, that was
So Apollo 23
Van Buren, right?
exploded on the pad.
Oh yeah. I remember that. That was in season 1.
My dad lost his job and he couldn't find another one to save his life. Drove a taxi for a few years after that.
That sucks.
Never really recovered.
Yeah, I'm sure. It's a sad story.
People like to hear about success in America. About rising up, pulling yourself up from your bootstraps. They don't like to hear about
the great lie.
Failure.
Right? I won't get into it. Sorry, guys. I liked that. That was a nice moment. It was very humanizing for him. He's been bothering me, but this episode I feel like he's being a lot more of a person, you know, versus just like a corporate entity.
They located the hab. They haven't made any contact with Ed or Danny yet, but they've locked onto the emergency beacon. They're gonna dig it out.
Oh my God.
That's good news.
Oh my God. It's good. It's good.
Fucking Jimmy. Just let him go. He's
Just have to stay hopeful, okay?
fucking annoying. I get that he's obviously very stressed and upset right now. It's just I don't like where he goes with that stress and upset.
I went to see Pam.
Are you out of your mind?
You're having sex with a man in the Oval Office.
How could you take a risk like that?
I think that's
What if someone
riskier.
leaks it? If the press finds out where you really were when this all was happening, it'll be a complete catastrophe.
So we're talking about my lack of discretion now?
I'm just saying, what she did is much easier to defend. She could have been going to see an old friend.
By the time it's over, my situation
Are you
is...
actually suggesting I take comfort from a disaster that might have killed 4 people?
Of course not.
And what are you saying?
I don't know.
He's glad that he's not going to get outed, which I understand on a human level, but still.
Would you mind giving us the room?
Of course.
She kicking him out of the inner circle.
If we enter the lava tube where it's closest to the surface, which GPR places 3 meters below the debris field, traverse that tube.
Oh, go under them.
Until we're just downstream of the hab.
Blow them
a hole
up.
in the tube roof. Enough of the material above will flow down from the hab, through the hole, into the lava tube like grain from a hopper. After it's cleared out, the hab will be exposed.
Yeah.
And we can access it from above.
I mean, what other
Are you
choice do
suggesting
you have?
that we set off a bomb near the hab?
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm suggesting.
The stress of explosion could destroy it.
There are too many unknowns. If we place the charge incorrectly, we could blow up the hab.
And the people in it.
Well, they're gonna
But
be
he's
dead
right.
anyway.
If we dig down, we will certainly fail, and Baldwin and Stevens die.
Yeah.
We have coring drills and explosives on site. It is doable.
I think it's your only option.
Miscalculate by even 1 meter.
These are engineering problems, my friends. And we are engineers.
Yeah. Figure it out.
Shall we begin?
Yeah. See, I really like him when he's like being human and being smart and daring and shit. He's back in my good books. I like him again.
Not teaching me how to ride a bike.
Ride a bike? What the hell are you talking about?
Shane told me all about your bike riding lessons. Told me he was terrified of you.
Yeah, he had issues.
Whenever we got in trouble, Shane used to beg Kara not to tell you.
You know what? I don't think that.
He knew when you'd find out, he'd get so afraid. And when you were away,
that's enough.
Or on orbit, or on the moon, Shane came to life, laughing, goofing around.
I think that
when you came home, he'd withdraw again because he was so scared of you. Hey, you shut up! What kind of man gets off on terrifying a little boy?
He didn't.
His own son.
I think he just had issues, you know. It's just. Fucking hate Danny. So, like, Ed was far from a perfect father. Far. I criticized him too for the way he talked to Shane. But what kind of person gets off on making someone feel like shit about their dead son? Danny.
I know about you and Danny.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Do him the favor of being honest. Especially now.
I don't think he deserves any favors from her when he's been stalking her and shit for 10 years.
I wanted to do something that was wrong.
At least she knew it was wrong.
But why Danny?
That is a good fucking question.
Because I trusted him.
No. You used him, just like everybody else.
Who's everybody else that's used him? Are we ignoring his shitty behavior for the 10 years afterwards? Because I don't think that's an excuse.
I hate it.
What, space?
I hate it with every fiber in my being.
I know that feeling.
Yeah.
What's wrong? I do not feel well.
See?
Let's get you inside.
He's got like a concussion or internal something. Oh. You guys, I really hate puke.
He had a headache. He was stumbling when we came up.
I'm sorry, I do not do well with puke. Honestly, show me his arm dangling more than that.
We need to get into the suits. I'm gonna help you.
Is Ed okay?
No.
Ed? We have to.
It doesn't matter.
Hey, what about Kelly?
Yeah.
Matters to her?
Before we went up to the ridge,
That's not what she'll...
my last conversation with her,
That's not what she'll remember.
she was angry with me and I dismissed her. The last time I talked to Shane, too, I yelled at him. Told him to be a man. Be a man.
Karen yelled at him too.
Be a man.
Look, I shouldn't have said those things. I was angry.
Yeah, you shouldn't have.
Besides,
I'm sure he's tortured himself about it all these years anyway.
you're not the only one who sinned against Shane.
Alright, let's not tell him at this.
Remember all the shit Shane and I did? Breaking water meters. Blowing up toilets to face in school lockers.
Oh, did you let him take the fall?
Everyone thought Shane was a ringleader.
Yeah.
I let them think it.
Okay.
It was never his idea. It was always mine.
Okay.
I even taught him how to shoplift. Yeah, I dragged him into all of that. Let him take the heat when we got caught.
Y'all were just kids though. Like, that's not your fault. I mean,
And he forgave me every time.
Y'all were kids though.
No matter how many times I stabbed him in the back.
That I don't blame you for. You were kids. Dumbass.
I'm the reason Karen grounded him that day. If he had never met me,
That's not...
Karen would have driven him to that basketball game.
You can't play that game.
He would have never gotten hit by that car. He would have gone to Annapolis and he'd be here today instead of me.
You can't play that game, Danny. That's not life. You don't know that.
You know, I thought if I lived the life that I took from him, the life that he was meant to live, that it somehow might make up for what I did.
But you were a kid. You couldn't have known. God, now they're making
I fucked it up.
me feel bad for him.
Fucked it up like I fucked up everything my whole life.
I fucked up other things, but that is not your fault. You were a kid.
Now I'm gonna leave Avery.
No, you weren't. Maybe this is what he needs. To straight.
Like my mom and dad left me and Jimmy.
Y'all are much older, to be fair.
It's not worth it, Ed. It's just not.
Dizzy. Hey.
I hate that they're making me feel bad for him. Don't. This is not the time. This is not the time. This is not.
Heather's.
Nope.
There's something else I need to tell you.
Nope. Explosion, you need to go off now, because this is not the time.
Something.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I was like, this is not the time. Okay. They got him, I'm sure. They got him.
Thank God. No, of course, I'll tell her. Thank you. Thank you. They made it.
Oh my God.
They made it.
Oh my God.
They're okay.
I'm okay. I'm okay. They're okay. Danny's alive. Okay.
That's good. I'm sure for Jimmy that was very hard because, like, he's fucking annoying, but his parents weren't okay, you know? So.
Feel like shit? Good.
That means you're alive.
That means you're alive.
Mm-hmm.
Is Kelly okay? And Danny?
Oh no, did he not survive? Oh, he didn't survive.
Alexa Palatov didn't make it. Neither did Isabel Castillo.
Or
Nick Corrado.
oh, that's sad.
Hey. Kelly.
She needs her dad. He doesn't even know. I hope he feels guilty. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I feel bad for him, but I hope he realizes that these people died. And that's on him. He changes his behavior.
Что нам делать с дочкой? Рано или поздно она узнает, что приобрела.
How do they know if she doesn't even know?
Прежде всего, я должен поговорить с Москвой.
What?
С ее командиром. Как ты понимаешь, эта ситуация создает риск для всего экипажа.
How the fuck would they know if she doesn't even know? And why does fucking Moscow need to know? First off, we found out at the very end of this episode that Kelly is in fact pregnant with Alexi's child. It's concerning to me that they want to contact Moscow and see how they should go about it, because, like, in my opinion, they should have nothing to do with it. I understand that there must be, or I assume there must be some sort of, this must be some sort of protocol that they have to follow to make sure that they don't get in trouble. But it's just, it's very concerning to me. Also, I just don't understand, like, how they know she's pregnant before she knows she's pregnant. You know, like, I get that the one guy is a doctor, sure, but how long did... She would have to be not very far along, and unless I'm sure that other things have happened that we haven't seen, but there's been nothing that has happened blatantly that makes me think that she would be pregnant. But also, if you guys remember, it was either last episode or the episode before, when they were having sex, I was like, hope someone brought protection to the Mars. I keep wanting to say the moon. Because, you know, it's not like you just can't get pregnant in space. But it appears that they did not. They did not bring protection. So, if there was no preventative measures taking place, it's kind of inevitable. But yeah, I am sad that Alexei is dead. I liked him. I liked Corrado, I think is his name, and Castillo as well. So it's just unfortunate. And I do hope that their deaths are a wake-up call for Danny, that he has gone way too far and that this will be his rock bottom and that he will start trying to piece himself back together again. It is frustrating to me that we have Danny, or that the show is making me feel bad for Danny in this episode. Like, they really tugged at my heartstrings in regards to Danny because of his whole... He always blamed Shane, and then it was his fault that Shane got grounded, so it was his fault that Shane... and this is in his mind, of course, got on the bike to go to the game and then got hit by the car and then died. So he's tried to live his life how he thinks that Shane would have to make up for it, which is a lot of, like, guilt and trauma to take on since you were a kid. And it's just, like, I can't help, like, I'm a person, so I can't help but feel really bad that Danny has felt that way his whole life, that he's felt responsible for his best friend's death, and that he's felt like just this guilt and this burden because of it. And, like, that does explain, I think, a lot of the substance abuse issues that he has had, because, like, trauma and guilt and that shit is not easy. It's not an easy thing to carry, especially for, you know, his whole life. And so I can't help but feel empathy for him because of that. Now, where it kind of stops for me is that, like, that didn't make you become, like, a stalker. That didn't make you become super inappropriate with Karen. Although, I guess you could argue, you know, that his unhealthy attachment to Karen is, like, also a product of his guilt and his trauma. But I don't know, you guys. I think even if it is, that I can feel bad and I can understand that that was hard for him as a character to go through. But I don't think that it negates the creepy stalker behavior that he's exhibited and the unfair way that he has clung on to Karen for all these years, that he made the song that they kissed to, the song at his wedding. Like, there are things that he has done that I don't feel like I can understand the trauma and guilt that led to him becoming slightly unhinged, but I don't think it negates or excuses that behavior. Just like, I understand he was going through withdrawal. He was very upset. They were in a life or death situation. I can understand why him and Ed got into the argument that they got into and where it led, especially because he has these pent-up feelings regarding Ed. However, I don't think it excuses the things he said to Ed. And it's frustrating because it's like he's not necessarily 100% wrong, right? Like, the way that Ed and Karen treated Shane a lot of times in season 1, like you guys know, I had an issue with it. I didn't agree with their parenting style. I didn't agree with the man up, be a man, blah, blah, that Ed would impart on Shane. But I also try to understand that that was the way Ed was raised, right? He comes from a military background, and he was raising his son in 1970 something. Like, that, like, not that he couldn't do better and be better, but unfortunately, that was a lot of the toxic masculinity messaging back then. And it is really unfortunate, but he did the same thing with Gordo, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I think that, I don't know if Danny is correct that Shane was scared of Ed. I know that he seemed to have moments in season 1 where he was upset, but he seemed to be happy with Ed too, you know? Like, I think, sure, he probably would have grown up with some trauma and some shit, because that it is what it is at that time, right? But I don't know. I also think it's unfair of Danny to say that to Ed about a son that he's been mourning for longer than he was able to be a parent to. And I do think that Ed and Karen learned from their mistakes with Shane, and that allowed them to become a better parent to Kelly. Better parents to Kelly. So, yeah, I don't know. I thought that was pretty unfair of Danny to say to Ed, but again, I can understand the extenuating circumstances. I am real glad that explosion happened before he spilled the beans about Karen, though. It's not that I don't think Ed deserves to know. It's that I don't think that that was the moment to tell him. You know? And I don't think he's going to react well if/when he ever finds out. For a lot of reasons. Speaking of characters pulling at my heartstrings in this episode, I really struggle with Jimmy as well, because I can understand that moment, or those moments that night, sitting there, hearing the news, and just waiting to find out if your brother is alive, the same way that he sat there and waited to find out about his parents, is incredibly horrifying and triggering for him, because he lost both his parents the same way. It frustrates me when he immediately turns to, like, conspiracy. You know? When he's like, oh, is that what they told you? And it's like, yeah, because it's the fucking truth. I'm sorry, but sometimes the simplest explanation is the right one. Like, and see, here's the problem with conspiracy theories. I think I've said this before, but I can't remember, so I will reiterate it. There are some that have grains of truth in them, right? But because people lump them in with all the conspiracy theories that are just out of this fucking world insane, it makes the true ones seem less true. And it's honestly, like, it's people like Jimmy and his friends who kind of make all conspiracy theories seem insane, right? Because they just assume everything is a conspiracy theory. And it's just, it's not. Like, his parents did die the way that they said, Danny was buried the way that they said. Like, it's just facts, and just because it's facts that you don't like doesn't mean it's not facts. And I just have to, like, rein in myself with Jimmy when he's on screen, because I want to shake him, you know? Oh, okay, you scared the shit out of me. Let's not attack each other. Let's not attack each other, okay? There's no need for that. I really enjoyed Dev in this episode. I think that they really went back to showing the human part of him, the really like charming sort of face of Dev that we had seen previously before he really annoyed me with the whole not wanting to save people thing. But I really enjoyed him in this episode, them just taking him back to sort of who he is and wanting to make a difference and wanting to help and wanting to push things forward. I really enjoy seeing the human side of Dev and less of, like I said during the episode, just like the capitalistic CEO side of him. Oh, I did really enjoy, to go back to Jimmy for a second, I did actually enjoy the moment of vulnerability with Jimmy and Karen and him saying, I hate it. Like, I really fucking hate it. Referring to space. And Karen being like, yeah, I know the feeling. 'Cause I just thought that was a really nice moment of shared vulnerability between them, where they could say to each other probably something they haven't been able to voice aloud to a lot of people, because I don't think that other people would understand from their perspective. Yeah. And I think that was a really nice moment for them to be able to share. And I think it was nice for Karen to be able to share, like, what was going on with Danny. Like, what led her to make the choice that she made. And while I still think that the same thing could have been achieved with a different person that was not her son's friend, I appreciated that she sort of was honest and vulnerable with Jimmy in that moment and did tell him the truth of why she picked Danny and how she felt about it. It does look like Aleida is still struggling with Margot and her knowledge of Margot working with the Russians. Now, I do think, like, my preference, I've said before, so I'm not going to repeat it, but it just, I hate saying it. I just want her to talk to Margot, you know? Something that I really loved in this episode was the Pam and Ellen scene. I liked Pam explaining her reasoning, which was what I thought. She worried that Ellen would long for a different life and come to resent her for not being able to achieve her dreams. I also liked that Pam kind of voiced the same thing I voiced, and that is that she had been hopeful that Ellen would be able to enact more meaningful change than she so far has been able to. And I like that Ellen kind of explained to her that she was trying to do the best that she could, because I do believe that, even though I also wish that Ellen could enact more meaningful change than she's been able to. And I also like that Ellen told her that she was the love of her life. I still have the tiniest bit of me that hopes that they can get a happy ending, and I am just gonna cling on to that hope until it is completely ripped away from me forever and ever. So let me have it. I'm not gonna lie, I did enjoy Ellen sort of laying into Larry, because she went to visit somebody that, like, end of the day, she could have been like, oh, I was off to visit an old friend and then I heard the news and I came back. That's not as hard to explain as you having an affair with a man in the Oval Office. Like, you're having sex in the Oval Office with a man. I have no problem with it. I just have a problem with, like, him calling her reckless when he's doing that, right? Like, have sex with whoever you want. Like, y'all have a marriage that allows for that because you're both gay. I just don't think that it's smart for you to do it in the Oval Office, because, and then get upset at her for being reckless, right? That's just kind of my thing. So I enjoyed that. I do hope that, you know, they can talk and maybe like become friends again, but I just, in that moment, I did agree with Ellen. Okay, I think that's all that I really have to say about this episode. As always, if you want, you guys can like, comment, and subscribe if you aren't already, because it really helps me out. You can also watch the next episode, episode 9, the penultimate episode of all of season 3, right now over on Patreon if you're watching this on YouTube, as well as my entire full-length reaction to this episode and all the episodes so far of For All Mankind. We are almost on the last season that has currently aired as of me filming this. I know season 5 is coming. I know that we don't know when season 5 is coming. Rest assured, I will watch it. But yeah, I can't believe I'm almost to season 4. It feels like I just started watching this yesterday. Probably doesn't feel like that for you guys, but it feels like that for me. Anyway, I'm gonna go. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time for more For All Mankind. Until then, bye guys.